There we go.
Thank you.
Yep.
And with that, our clock has hit 7:45. Would just like to welcome, we have 136 participants and growing in this morning's meeting. And first, I just want to start by saying congratulations for your team or your individuals qualifying for the 2022 State Boys and Girls Cross Country Tournament. We're excited to host this Saturday at St. Olaf. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Charlie Campbell, and I am one of the new associate directors at the Minnesota State High School League. I am just starting my second year here in this position after serving as an activities administrator for 10 years at Brainerd High School prior to this post. This is my first year with Boys and Girls Cross Country, however, and I'm super excited to be involved, not only with this tournament, but with your Coaches Association and Advisory, and working with all of you to continue to advance cross country in Minnesota. Today, I'm joined in the league office, Susie Hollenbeck, who is assisting with cross country this fall, as well as Carmen Middleton. These two ladies have been super helpful and super supportive, and will continue to be so for all of us as we get closer to the tournament on Saturday. If you have any questions along the way, please reach out to any of us so that we can help. And then finally, Laura Mockentune is going to join us and talk a little bit about website and how that might help you and your fans in preparation for the cross country meet. And also a little bit about media. So with that, Susie, we can kind of get into the agenda, and it's going to be pretty straightforward. Just want to talk a little bit about some of the tournament info and resources that are available for you and for ADs that may be joining us on the call, or for those conversations that you're having in preparation for race day and your travels to St. Olaf. And then we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the spectator guide and some differences that you'll see with this year's meet as compared to years past. Much will be the same, but there are just a few things that will look and feel a little bit different for you. And we want to make sure that we're helping you and your student athletes be as comfortable as possible coming into the race day tournament this year. We can move forward, Susie. A reminder that on Friday, November 4th, from 1 to 4, we do have the optional course preview and team registration, where you can pick up your registration materials. Just a note that I want to remind you that the St. Olaf campus is closed, except for this particular time, this 1 to 4 p.m. time frame. Just please know that our contract states very explicitly when the high school league events are allowed to be on campus, and for safety, for security, for risk management factors. And just know that we do not want teams showing up early this week, showing up early, showing up outside of that time. We will be prepared for you at that time. The course will be ready for you at that time, and ask that if you're looking to preview the course, that it is done at that time only. Reminder that the course is open only for qualifiers. Please do not bring extras with you, but your roster, if you are a team that has qualified, or those runners, individuals from your school that have qualified, the course is open to them. At registration, you will be able to pick up your race packets. That needs to be done by a head coach or a school faculty member. Again, we are making sure that all runners in this event are attached to a coach or school faculty member. We do not want individuals representing a school that do not have school personnel with them, as bylaw requires school personnel with any competition. In that race packet, you'll get bibs, bag tags, the souvenir bag tags, wristbands, and also the uniform verification and pronunciation form. We are going to send, Susie or Carmen will send both of those forms to you at the conclusion of the meeting today, before this day is over. We're going to ask just to speed up that registration process if you would bring those already filled out, Certainly we will have extras. Certainly we will have tables and pens that you can fill them out. But the registration process will go much more smoothly and quicker for everybody involved if you bring those completed ahead of time. And as Susie mentioned in the chat, we will be able to put those on the dashboard as well for your review. We can move forward, Susie. Parking is going to look very much the same. Those of you that are coming in school vehicles or team vans, you can pick up a pass at registration on Friday. You can park in the Skoglund Athletic Complex lot. So right there next to the field house, there'll be plenty of parking. That is restricted parking. Any spectators or those without a pass will not be able to access that part of campus, and will basically be turned around. If you have a team bus, the team bus is going to be able to come down into the loop, drop off right at door 4 of the field house, and then loop out of there to park at Bethel Lutheran Church or the Greenvale Park Elementary. There will be plenty of traffic security to direct buses and get them to the right locations. I know that this was a problematic piece to last year's tournament. What I'm going to ask of coaches is to make sure that you have direct contact with your bus driver. Know that you will be able to wait indoors, but when your team is ready, make the call to get your bus in there. We're just going to ask that the drop-off and pickup process be as quick as possible. Buses that are just idling and waiting for teams are going to clog up the system. So again, just have a plan to be in contact with your bus driver by radio, by cell phone, whatever is going to work best for you to ensure that we can make that process go as quickly and as smoothly as possible for all involved. Go to number 5, Susie. On Friday night, we are pleased to announce that there is going to be a state meet social, once again hosted by the Cross Country Coaches Association. That's going to be from 3 to 4. That's the last hour of the course will be open. Please make a note and share with your spectators that with a number of security issues that our venues and that have been taking place at our events over the last couple of years, is that we are not going to have the field house open to spectators. It is going to be open only to participants. So athletes can use their bib to get in, and coaches with proper wristband. And that is where registration will happen. We'll talk a little bit here about indoor clerking in just a little bit, but all of that will take place in the field house, and our general public will not be in that venue. Once again, no tents allowed inside. If you do desire to put up a tent, and it's looking at the weather ahead in St. Olaf, it could be a little bit wet, can do so in the open field areas that are off the course. And just a reminder, we do not have dressing rooms, locker rooms, changing rooms. Please come dressed, ready to go for your race at your race time. And the next slide here, number 6, just shows us a quick look at how the field house will be laid out. So at the top of this figure that we've drawn for you is north. That heads out towards the race course. You can see the athlete entrance along the west side of the building. So if you park in the lot, you'll come around. This is an entrance that if you've been there before, you'll be familiar with. And then once you enter, we're going to ask you to walk all the way across where we'll have a number of tables set up right below where their fitness center and strength room is. And that's where we will have registration spread out on a lot of tables. Rather than just inside the door, we would like to make sure we can get everybody in the building and go through that registration process as quickly and as smoothly as possible. We want it to be efficient. We will move registration back to the west side for Saturday. We anticipate very few teams remaining or individuals that will have not checked in and picked up their materials. So that will move over to the other side. And you can see that the registration tables that you will visit on Friday will become our indoor clerking stations for the race day, and a little bit more information coming on that here in the next slides. Note that our spectator area, kind of adjacent to the finish line, is where you will find concessions and tournament apparel, and more about that as we get further along. The clerks, of course, will be located in the field house this year. That is different. Previously, we've done this at the start line, and we've had situations where we've had student athletes rushing to the portable restroom to change out of something that does not comply with their uniform and that sort of thing. And so rather than do that at the start line, we're going to do that indoors this year, so that if there's anything that needs to be addressed with your team and with the start of that race, it can be done indoors. It can be done away from the start line. We're going to open that 90 minutes before your race time, and it'll close 30 minutes prior to the start of your race. So again, no check-ins will happen at the start line. The clerks at the start are just going to make sure that our participants are in the right starting box area. They're going to make sure that all athletes have been clerked properly by identifying a sticker on their bib, and just assist with the start process. So what we are hoping is that student athletes, once they get outside and get to that start line, they find their space, is that they can focus on the race, that they can focus on their warm-up, and they don't have to worry about those things because they've been taken care of inside prior to the race. And a reminder that we'd like to have your student athletes arrive at the start line no later than 20 minutes prior to their race. That's when we will begin the pre-race announcements. Susie, we can go to number 8, please. What'll happen at the indoor clerking? Participants will be required to show their assigned bib on their jersey, that the chips are securely attached, and that the uniforms meet the NFHS requirements. And again, no check-in at the start line. We're just going to make sure that runners are in the appropriate starting area and answer any questions that they may have. Once again, we will conduct award ceremonies following each of the races, and we will do team trophies and medals for first, second, and third, and then we will do medals for each individual finishing first through 10th place. So again, we just, if you are a coach that has a team or individuals that will be honored, we would certainly appreciate your presence in that award ceremony. We're also happy to note that the award ceremony will be streamed, as will the tournament itself, the competitions themselves. And Laura's going to talk about that here in just a moment. On to number 10, Susie. A slight change in spectator parking this year. Spectators will not be allowed to turn onto the St. Olaf campus. We're going to need a parking pass to do that. They're going to be directed to McLean's Shipping, and that is just about a quarter mile east of the main turn into the St. Olaf campus. There they've got a paved lot for about 300, and they will also have a field that will be striped for additional parking of 300. They're going to run 4 continuous shuttles that will bring spectators to campus. So it's a little different than previous, where we used remote lots on the St. Olaf campus. We are now going to one lot, again, just a quarter mile to the east of the main drive into campus. And the parking will be free, the shuttles will be free, and those shuttles will run continuously throughout the duration of the day. And so everybody should be able to get to and from from the parking to the venue without much hassle at all. Those that do have a valid disability permit or license plate are welcome to come in and park in our disability parking areas that will be identified in the Skoglund area parking lot. So those folks will be able to access campus, but those able-bodied folks that do not have those permits will be parking at McLean Shipping. And with that, I think I'm going to turn this over to Laura, and she's going to show you where you can find some of this information and where your public can grab some information as well. So Laura, I'm going to turn it to you.
Great. Thanks, Charlie. Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to you and to your competitors for the state cross-country meet. The slides you're looking at right now will guide ADs and coaches in finding information that's posted for them as ADs and coaches. On your AD or coach dashboard, you'll see a large blue banner that looks like the number 1 labeled item there. Behind that button, when you click on sports and activities, you'll see a number of or 1 blue accordion that says cross-country girls and or cross-country boys. If you're an AD, you're going to see accordions for all of the sports that your school has. If you are a coach, you'll see just the ones that you coach. The little plus over on the right-hand side of that will cascade down and show you resources for your sport. That box is divided into 3 sections. The section over on the right-hand side that the arrow is pointing to is where those state tournament resources are. So as our staff has resources, and you've heard about a few of
we lost your
those are getting
voice.
added to that section. And again, this is ADs and coaches and information for you, for your participants. The next slide is where you're going to want to direct your public to. Susie, if you can go ahead a slide. On the public pages, underneath sports and activities, and either boys cross country or girls cross country, you'll see a number of blue buttons there. Those are really ones for your spectators. Coaches and ADs, you may find them helpful too, but really the idea here is that you push your spectators here. On that page, and Charlie's referenced it, there is a spectator guide, and that is about a 2-page, what we would call a printable document, a PDF, that you can send to your families and communities that will give them the information to help them prepare for a trip to the state meet. There's also a link there for apparel. That's where results will be posted. And there's also a streaming link there. So again, really 2 places to look for information. One has information that's aimed at participants, and one has information that's aimed at spectators. You know that things cross a little bit. So for you as an AD or coach, you probably want to be checking both of these. But for your spectators, this is the spot to send them. Please use that link, use that spectator guide to share with them to save yourself some time and having to recreate pieces. On the next slide, just a reminder that our programs are all online. They will be posted on those boys and girls cross-country pages, and I believe they'll be there within about the next 24 to 36 hours. Programs are online only, so encourage your spectators to view them, bookmark them, whatever works for them, again, as they view that either off-site or on-site. Charlie alluded to previously that the cross-country meet will be streamed. Our official state tournament partner is NSPN. NSPN was formerly known as Prep Spotlight and/or School Space. It is the same company that we have used for a number of years. They've simply rebranded themselves. They will have full coverage from 4 different locations on the course, as well as the award ceremonies. They have also moved this year to a subscription model. So instead of paying per event, as we've done in the past for state tournament events, it's now either a yearly or a monthly piece. For most spectators, this actually works out much better. You can grab a lot of events for a pretty low price. But again, NSPN, again, help your public know and understand that there are a lot of scamming streaming places out there right now on social media. This is our official state tournament partner, but they have changed names. So it does take a little bit to talk people through that piece. Moving on, a note about apparel. We are incredibly excited. We have a new apparel vendor this year and are working with Signature Concepts, also known to many as Goldie's Locker Room. On site, we will have apparel set up. Watch for signage to direct you to that. Apparel will be set up both during the meet as well as on Friday's time. Would encourage you to purchase early for best selection to make sure that you get that to take with you that day. Online, apparel can be viewed now. Online purchases will include a shipping fee, and online apparel is open until 11:59 on the Tuesday following the meet. Quick graphic there with some of the apparel. We expect a hoodie, a long sleeve shirt, and a short sleeve shirt branded with the state cross country tournament, as well as a number of other items that are branded just state tournament. Some joggers, some pennants, and other things that are branded just state tournament, not specifically cross country. And then moving on, a few things about media coverage. A reminder that all media must apply for a credential with the league and be approved. If you have a media outlet in your community that you know is coming to cover this, giving them a heads up and making sure that they have applied is much appreciated on our part and their part. Additionally, we have a student media program that's an experiential learning program. ADs, you may apply for up to 2 students and 1 faculty advisor to attend that state tournament and cover. Those folks also need to go through the credentialing process, and ADs are the contact point for that. All media information is up under Who Are You? And then media and state tournament media underneath there. And then finally, another media note just to help you and your spectators. Our final top 3 finishers in each race will be available for interviews in that shoot area. There will be league media staff working with those finishers and that media in order to kind of corral them and make them available to the media. So as coaches, you may not have quick access to your finishers if they're in that top 3 as we do that. For media and other folks, award ceremony also provides a great opportunity for additional photo and interview opportunities. Charlie, I'm going to turn it back to you to wrap up and move on.
Great. Well, I'm coming to you now live from Carmen's workstation as I was having some sound issues. So thank you, Laura, for walking us through some of those pieces. And just a quick point of clarification for those that do have both a individual qualifiers on the boys side and girls side, there would be a wristband for each one of those genders. So just want to make sure, I think there was some stuff coming at us in the chat, some questions along those lines. For those teams that qualify, you would get 2 wristbands in your packet because of the increased number of kids as well. So as always, if you've got additional questions, you can send them our way and we'll do our best to get those answered to you. But want to just say thanks for taking 25 minutes this morning of your time to spend with us in preparation for our event on Saturday. Want to wish you all the best and trust that this will be a real enjoyable experience for you and most importantly for your students. Thanks, everybody.
Charlie?
Yeah.
There are a couple of questions in the chat if we can just maybe address them quickly.
Okay, what do we have, Susan?
For teams that don't have school transportation, parents bring them and drop off. In the past, they've been able to drop off on campus and park elsewhere. Do the athletes need to take the shuttle now?
I would plan on that. It's just going to be really hard for the management of St. Olaf's parking staff to determine who should come on campus and who shouldn't. Again, we expect that process to go really smoothly. It's going to get them closest to the venue. If parents try to find another way on campus, they're probably going to end up dropping at some remote lot and not getting close, and the athletes will have to walk even further. So I would recommend using the shuttle, yes.
And there was the question about being to the starting line 20 minutes early? And in the event that it's raining, will there be any adjustment to the time schedule?
We'll work with race personnel to determine that. Again, we begin our countdown at 20 minutes and that 20 minutes is there for that warm up time. We'll take a look at weather. We'll work with our staff and our officials to determine if we would adjust. I would say certainly we're going to make reasonable decisions based on the circumstances.
Then just a note for everybody, there was a couple questions. We will post slides and the recording to your dashboard a little bit later this morning. Okay, and yes, confirming if you have individual qualifiers in each gender, you would get one wristband for girls and one wristband for boys. That's correct, Charlie, right? That's what we stated?
Correct. Yep,
Okay.
they would, because there would be 2 packets and many of you coach boys and girls, but many of you don't. And so rather than us try to determine all of that, we're going to put a wristband in each. And so that might be a way to have somebody else. And keep in mind, we would love to let your whole staff, anybody that touches your program, come on the course and make this as normal as possible for your student athletes. We just simply can't do that. It's important for us from a race management perspective that we limit the number of people on the course, that we limit access to the course, and we do that as a way to ensure that we're running a high quality event and to ensure that the kids are unimpeded from start to finish. And so it feels restrictive, but it's necessary. And please know, coaches, that we do this in all of our tournaments. It's not anything unique to cross country, but when we look at event management, this is just one important part of that. And we try to find that balance of having the right number of people and making sure we have the appropriate people there. And sometimes as head coaches, you have to make tough decisions on which coaches on your staff or volunteers are going to be provided access. And that's similar with other programs as well.
Okay, Charlie, one more question. At the awards ceremony, can the scores quickly be read from 16 on down?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'll work with Mr. Stallman and just learn a little bit more. That as a new tournament to me, I don't want to commit to something that maybe is difficult for reasons that I just don't understand right now.
And a question, can coaches walk the course on Friday?
I believe that that's a good question. Can I see clarification? I believe that they have been able to walk the course in the past with their student athlete. They are considered participants, but would need to be kind of on that approved list, a wristbanded coach, if you will.
All right, I think we're good.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.